Barbara Menino.
And I'm Christine Rothdeutsch.
And today we're here to talk about collaboration. Honestly, as a writer, I've written a lot about collaboration, but interestingly, I have always used it as an adjective, as in collaborative culture, or an adverb, working together collaboratively. But today we're here to talk about collaboration as an entity in itself and as a verb, as when we collaborate in business, which, when you think about it and you talk about it, has many advantages, right? The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, just like Aristotle says. So we're often running on this topic. And before we are, though, I'd like to remind you that we'd love to hear from you all. Perhaps you've had an experience with collaboration. Perhaps you have thoughts to share, concerns, considerations. We'd love to have you write into the comments or reach out to us at another time. So right now, we're off to the races. And Christine, let's talk to our listeners about what collaboration really is.
Well, Barbara, I think in the areas that we travel in business, people do use the word collaboration a lot, uh, and I just I cringe because it really does mean working at least two people together for a common purpose. And it's to achieve increase in business. Although often see, and I've been warned here also, is to make sure that we have the same goals in mind, that we're headed towards a common good. All too often, people want to collaborate and put on a workshop because it feels good, and but what is your real purpose? What does everybody involved want to achieve? But now, I mean, this is just one place that collaboration comes up, but it's very popular. And we'll discuss a couple other areas in business that people do collaborate in. But it's coming together. Oh yeah, kind of like what we're doing here on Soapbox Wisdom.
Oh, yeah,
This is a
it's
collaboration,
a
we
collaboration indeed.
we
But
kept talking and and wanted to do something together, so this is what we did.
here we are. But something that you just said that I think is important to reiterate is about the feel good versus really a relevant outcome. Feel good is wonderful, but if you are trying to grow your business, it does have to go beyond the feel good, right? And it has to be an outcome that will mutually benefit both parties. And the ultimate goal is to grow your business.
Well,
So,
and when you say, okay, we've said grow your business, that's, we see it, we understand and everything. But what I'm seeing in some people in my circles are they start talking and they're like, "Oh, we have so many things to go. Oh, we should do something together. Oh, let's do a workshop together. This is going to be great and everything." I remember somebody mentioned it to me these last few months, and I because it was with somebody that they had something in common. They were kind of doing the same thing in business, but slightly different, and they just thought it would be neat to do something together.
mhm.
And I said, "But don't you want to actually benefit with your business through the whole thing? Like, don't you want to use it to increase business in some manner?" And she was like, "Oh, didn't really think about that." And I just think, of all the time you put in when you are working on a collaboration, why do you want to put in so much time if you're not going to help your business? But I see it. I see it often.
And also along that line of taking it beyond the fun or the feel good. And I'm not against fun, and I know you aren't either. but everything, there's a place for everything. Um, when you collaborate, you also have the opportunity for growth. Growth, I mean, in terms of learning. You learn new stuff. You augment the knowledge that you already have. And that's always a good thing
Mm,
in
yeah.
life and in business.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And you learn sometimes because there's things you have to do to make the collaboration work that you didn't do before, and somebody's got to do the work. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'll figure that out.
So, would you say that one of the most important parts of collaboration is determining which of those goals, we've mentioned a few, you want to reach, and what kind of a collaboration would be best to achieve those goals?
Yeah, I think you do have to start with the end goal in mind that each person wants to achieve. Now, maybe if you have two people, person A has a monetary goal where person B is okay with their business, and they just like to work with this other person to help them out. So, if they get something out of it, they're okay. But but the goals could be different, I think. Most people have the same. They want to increase business, but I'm just saying occasionally maybe there's different goals. And then the big goal for the whole collaboration, whatever it is that you're doing, that is the very first place to start is the end. What is it that you want to achieve? And then how are you going to get there? What are all those moving pieces that you need to put in place, and who's going to do what? Like who's going to take responsibility for each of the tasks that has to get done, and make sure that it's equal, not that it's unbalanced. Like one person's doing so much more than the other person. Um, uh,
That's really a good point. The equal effort, because you don't want to come away from it feeling, well, embittered is a strong word, but feeling like you've gotten the short end of the stick
mhm,
if you're doing all the work and the other person isn't pulling her load. So
mhm.
I think that's very important to divide the responsibilities in a, a righteous or fair way, not righteous, fair
Yeah. Yeah.
way.
Well, and I think if in the planning, if you see that things are gonna be over, really out of balance, then maybe that's an indication that you shouldn't be working together. And that's okay. Sometimes the ideas don't work out, but it's better to know ahead of time than spending a lot of time working on the project together and then realize at the end, it's like, "Whoa, I put all this effort in, and what did I get out of it?" Um, so it's real like coming to realize, yes, it's gonna work or no, it's not gonna work, really.
So, yeah, being realistic, planning is important so that you can get to the end that you desire. What do you think? So, for example, even when we decided that we wanted to do our podcast, we did bring essentially two different skill sets to the table. Our businesses have offered different knowledge and expertise to our audience. One person could use both of us because we present and talk about different pieces of the pie. So, do you think that, and this goes back to, oh, we think alike, it would be great to collaborate. It kind of goes back to, is the best situation a collaboration in which you're very aligned with someone because you both do the same thing, you both have the same skill set, or is it preferable for each of you to bring your respective expertises to the table and show how the union of those two and it can work again to make a stronger whole.
I don't think there's any right answer to that, Barbara. I think it just depends on the individuals that are looking to work together. Given the right situation, anything can work. Whether you have the same skills, the same knowledge, or you have very differing skills and knowledge, and anything can work as long as you can work together. 'Cause
That is important.
sometimes think about it, and maybe you you've even had this, you have a friend that, you really you see eye to eye on some stuff and everything, then you take a trip with them, and then you're like, "Oh my god, I can't get away from this person," you know? It's like, you don't maybe you just can't work well together. And what if let's just say, 2 people collaborating, and this is not you and me, Barbara, um, but you're both kinda at the same level and both wanna take charge, and nobody wants to give that up. Oh my goodness, what are you gonna do? Well, that's gonna be very stressful, and I wouldn't recommend working in a situation like that. It makes no sense if both people want to, be at the same take charge and, not be able to listen to input from the other person and, have some give and take. You gotta have give and take. It's like I mean, some of our conversations that we've had, Barbara, I don't know about you, but I can say honestly, I have not, like, been at exactly the same place that you are. I mean, yes, a lot of this what we talk about, we're spot on. Oh gosh, yes. But it's not possible to be right there on everything, but we have a great conversation anyway.
Well, and so you really wouldn't want it to be so in alignment that they're mirror images of each other, which brings up, I think, another point. And when we were going to talk about this, I read some on collaboration to see what the people outside were thinking. And they mentioned something that had been on my mind, which I call the fear factor and the vulnerability.
Mhm.
When you're going to collaborate, I believe that you have to be comfortable enough with and in yourself to know that each of you will bring different things to the table or will bring your own expertise, your own authenticity to the table. And you have to be comfortable allowing the other person to shine as well as you. You have to be comfortable, to your point about taking charge, to allow the other person to take charge of some of the process. You have to be realistic in knowing that the other person could know more about something than you. And there's absolutely nothing shameful in that. That's what the give and take is.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of it. That's how you make a strong, and that's how you also learn from these, which again cannot be undercut. Learning and growing information and knowledge is important as the end game of how it will favorably impact your business.
Right, exactly. Yes, you're so spot on about that, Barbara. And before it leaves my mind, I do want to bring up another aspect of this with the goals and things you have to think about. Um, uh, a lot of the collaborations I'm seeing are definitely events, workshops, things like that. You have to make sure that the seats are going to get filled equally 'cause that's a
Good point.
huge one that some people just wanna ride on somebody else's coattails. Well, they've got a big audience. They'll fill the seats.
Big
And
list. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And there's even some, things you can buy into out there of people with big lists, and they're like, "Well, I'll host your event, and I'll fill your event, so pay me this much, and, at least you can have your event, your workshop, whatever." And if you want to go that way, fine. But when you're really working within a budget and you're working on it on your own, you have to make sure the seats are going to get filled equally. So just wanted to make sure I got that
I
in there.
think it's also good to give kind of a face or some tangibleness to the idea of collaboration. You just talked about events, and that is, I think, one very likely instance where people representing two or more businesses would collaborate. We've talked about affiliate marketing, where you become essentially a referral source, but kind of on steroids for someone. Um, we've
Well,
talked about people collaborating for more than just a single event or campaign,
mhm.
but a longer time, maybe in a service offering. Are there others? And
Well, I just want to differentiate between affiliates and referral partners.
okay,
Affiliates are getting paid.
right.
It's I'll promote your event, your whatever. And if I fill a seat, I'll get a few dollars from the ticket sales. Referral partners, or sometimes people call them a strategic alliance, that's more of just like the reciprocation of I'll send you clients, Barbara, and you send me clients. And it's not just it's best if it's two-way and not just sitting back saying, wow, Barbara's been sending me all these clients. This is awesome. It's like, and I'm not sending you any. I think you probably wouldn't like that, I would imagine.
And I
That
think it's very good when you call it a strategic alliance, because that, to me, suggests a relationship. So
Mhm,
I then would become your go to for people who came to you for content or writing or communication service.
mhm,
You would become my go to when people came to me for business strategy, um, and even technology strategy, and picking the right of those resources at the right time.
mhm.
So, once again, when you talk about a strategic alliance, it's that kind of go to person concept, that some other person becomes the automatic place that you automatically send people
Mhm.
when they want a certain service.
Yeah, and you can have it within yourself that within your business, you have your people that are your strategic alliance. It doesn't mean they work together amongst them. However, I have seen situations like that. That this group seems it well, I should say, it seems like this group of people that I'm aware of, they tend to send business back and get back and forth, amongst, their group, and that's gold. I mean, when you have a group, that real everybody works together, so that's a big collaboration,
I,
but
so talk about um, the benefits of collaboration and business growth as a result. That is really a super example, and I loved that you said that's gold, because it may start out with two people, but in the right set of circumstances, you could create this network or this circle
Mhm.
of go tos. And wouldn't that be great for everyone involved? It would be mutual and reciprocal, and really an opportunity for business growth. It would be the perfect storm, I would
Yeah, because
think,
you wouldn't have to market as much.
right?
Yeah, it would be, it would free you up, uh, from all of those not from all of the efforts, but it would reduce the amount of marketing that you'd have to do. But yeah, that is a golden collaboration. In fact, I think maybe I'll coin that term and start my own.
Golden collaboration. That's kind of an interesting point to be emphasized too, that you said it would take less marketing. And not that there's anything wrong with marketing yourself, but yet it's another activity that you have in a business. And as a solopreneur or even a very small business, um, we have to wear so many hats.
Mhm,
That's harder. So if you do establish this one other collaboration or this circle ideal, the
mhm,
golden collaboration that Christine talks about, of ideal go to partners, you win in many ways. And one of them is actually cutting back on some of the marketing, using that golden collaboration, to use your term, as a way to market more organically.
mhm.
That's a real win.
Well, yeah, think about say you have 5 people and 5 people are out speaking at different events and drawing in different audiences and different clients, and then they send when a client needs something that's in their group, they send them over there, and then people are sending think about how that could just grow so easily.
Exponential growth,
Ex
perhaps.
Yes.
It's pretty cool, which also, by the way, underscores that one of the great ways for solopreneurs or small businesses to collaborate is through the event or the webinar or the workshop,
Mhm,
because it presents an opportunity for all the people involved to be able to have a public platform to speak, to share their knowledge and expertise, and to be part of a powerhouse group that could really serve a benefit to the audience's clients or prospects.
mhm.
So collaboration, it's far-reaching, and it offers many great things. So, anything else you'd like to share about it that comes to mind? Or you think we've
Well
covered it?
well I just wanna remind the audience to make sure you discuss your goals and come up with your plan of who's gonna do work, who's gonna, take up, whatever, strategy you choose, and if it turns out that it's overwhelming for one person or there's too much that you don't know, it's okay to say, "Hmm, this just isn't right for us right now." It's okay. You don't have to keep moving forward. And with that, I do want to share with the audience. We had mentioned earlier that Soapbox Wisdom is a collaboration. That Barbara and I were talking, and we're like, we got to do something together. We probably said those words after one
We
of
did.
our
We did. After
after
one
one,
of our
during
marathon talks.
yes, we were like, we got to do something together, and that's where it all starts when you find you're saying those words. And where did we go right away? We're like, "We should do a workshop." "Yes, let's do a workshop." And we're like, "Yeah, let's step back a little bit. Let's build our audience first." And that's where we came up with Soapbox Wisdom to share some of the wisdom that we've acquired over these years, only a few years, um, and to build our audience. And now we're happy to reveal that we're going for that workshop. We want you to stay tuned for the new year, 2024, and Barbara and I are going to be putting on a workshop together. So stay tuned.
If I could just say one more thing, see, that's how collaboration, on top of everything else, it sparks new ideas. And one thing can lead to another. Right, Christine?
Absolutely. And if you found this valuable, please like and share our video and send it out there to everyone you know that wants to collaborate. Soapbox Wisdom is hosted by brand messaging and storytelling consultant Barbara Menino, and business and mindset coach Christine Rothdeutsch. You can find them online at barbaramenino.com and Christine